Hello, my MGTOW brothers, back again for another episode, and this one I'm going to call MGTOW Population and Lifespan. The reason that I'm doing this particular one that's a little bit more heavy and or a little bit more right brain than some of the others is in a response to some of the questions that or controversy that I've had about using certain numbers in certain charts. And from the outset, I'm going to tell you that for the most part, not always, but for the most part, like 90% of the material that I use is publicly available. It can be Googled, it can be searched, it can be found readily with a simple Google search. So I have been accused of making up numbers. I have been accused of making up charts. I have been accused of misusing numbers or falsely misusing numbers or using numbers that don't exist. And I can say these are not my numbers. These are not my charts. This is generally accepted science. And this is where I pulled from. And the reason that I pulled these from several sources is so that there won't be any controversy. But I guess it's the internet and it's YouTube. And when people want to disagree, they're going to disagree no matter what. And, you know, some people are just too lazy to do research and refute what's been put out. Like I say, I'm not being paid. I'm not, being paid to teach you something or do work for you. These are just opinions that I want to share. And most of these illustrations and charts are not my main thing. And a lot of people don't have a disagreement about my main thing, but the thing is they have disagreement about components of my argument. And a lot of times, and I always say that, I say that, in my comments, if you have better numbers, if you have better research, supply me with links, supply me with numbers. Don't just give me random arguments. Okay. If you don't have better numbers, why are you arguing with me? If you don't have better research from multiple sources, why are you arguing with me? Do your own research, do your own video, do a reply and do a response, and I'll happily look at it. And if I am wrong, I will change it. But so far, the people that disagree do not have that. But to carry on, this is the first chart that they disagreed with, which is the average life expectancy. And there's several reasons why. They say that because it's an average, that it doesn't truly reflect the life expectancy of a human being in a particular environment. Now, I don't know where they get the idea that human beings 200,000 years ago live as long as human beings, in the 21st century. I don't know where they get that from. They've never shown me any numbers to prove their theory. It was just an idea. There was no scientific background saying that these particular numbers are untrue. Now, my theory or my analysis or my opinion was that for the most part, for the most of human history, there was an average age of less than 35 years for the most part. Some people may have lived longer, some people have lived a lot less, but for the most part, most people fell within that average, close to that average. And there's been broad disagreement. And I tried to show in that particular video how our environment affected our lifespan or help extend human life, extend human lifespan for the majority of people. Like with the one thing that helps enhance lifespan, especially for young people, is food. And I said the agricultural revolution raised the lifespan a little bit because it gave people more food and more and better food and better nutrition that set up the conditions to live longer. And the second thing, and anybody that's ever, worked hard or looked at slavery, that a lot of hard work or hard labor shortens your life. Okay, that shouldn't be a dispute. The more you wear out your body, the shorter your life will be. And the Industrial Revolution was another component by reducing the physical labor that people have to do and replacing those with machines. And the last bit that I said that really affected our lifespan was the petroleum age. That affected not only the machines that took away from human labor, but the ability to grow more food, the ability to transport food, the ability to refrigerate food, that also affected human lifespan. And there has been broad disagreement with that, like I said, this doesn't particularly reflect how long people actually lived. Now, like I said, there's four basic arguments that people use to disagree with the charts that I have. First one is the lifespan charts are averages and don't really reflect how long people actually lived. The second is the average lifespan is skewed because of high infant mortality. The third one is opinion is that most people that survive childhood live to old age, and old age meaning 65 years or older. And there's another opinion that even in earlier ages, humans regularly live into their 70s and 80s. So that means the average guy, average Joe, or average peasant working on a farm in poor conditions, if they could survive childhood, they actually lived into the 70s and 80s, lived to be a ripe old age, just like they do now. So looking at these particular questions, looking at these particular comments or a group of comments, I looked for a way to get an accurate picture of how long people lived under certain conditions. Since it's kind of hard to illustrate a census and go over it, I found a better way or a better picture to actually look at the base population and how many people actually live to be a certain age in any particular group or any particular snapshot. So the best thing that I found, uniquely that I found, and I don't know why anybody else couldn't find the same thing that I found, but the most accurate picture that I found was this. It's a population pyramid. And in our next section, we're going to describe, how this particular pyramid works and why this particular diagram or this particular graph gives us a more accurate snapshot of how long people actually lived and what the population actually looked like at a particular phase in a society's development.